2 planes clipping wings while on the ground at Washington Reagan National Airport. We're giving you a live look right now, and you can see that there certainly are some planes there, some movement at the airport this hour. But it did involve 2 American Airlines planes, one headed for Charleston, the other for JFK in New York City. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is on the scene gathering more information. Fitz, what is the latest, and what's the latest from the FAA?
All right, first, the good news. Nobody was hurt in this, but you can understand the concern and the alarm of passengers at Reagan National Airport, given the history as what has gone on at this airport in 2025, not the least of which that tragic disaster to start off this year in which 67 people lost their lives. What happened here? So let's zoom in on the runway, give you a better look at the situation live right now here on Fox 5. So the FAA tells us the wingtip of an American Airlines flight 5490 actually clipped an American Airlines flight 4522 on a taxiway here at Ronald Reagan National Airport. This happened in 12:45, roughly 1:45 in the afternoon. Flight 5490, we're told, is Bombardier CRJ900. That one was headed to Charleston in South Carolina. Now, the Embraer E175, that was headed up to JFK International Airport in New York. The FAA says they are investigating this. We can tell you this was an American Airlines flight today. The operations of this airport, and we've been here roughly about an hour now, appear to have gone largely interrupted today. Flights are taking off, flights are leaving. The arrivals board is clear. The departures board has everything where it is supposed to be. What is not where it is supposed to be, I can tell you, is the nerves of some of these passengers today. Upon learning of this news, a lot of them just rolled their eyes. One person said, again, and, given not only the incident back in January, but the alert that we had about a helicopter possibly encroaching on another aircraft. There was a report of a fight in the control tower recently. There just seems to be a cavalcade of incidents, one after another, week by week, month by month at this airport. And you can understand, Marina, why some of these passengers would have so many apprehensions given what has gone on here. This was an incident where nobody was hurt, but you can very easily ascertain how this could have been much more serious than it actually turned out to be here today.
One, I think, to echo what the passengers were saying, most people who are hearing the news are just, how? There's been so many incidents in such a short span here. The FAA just recently removing the teams that were at the air traffic control towers, bringing in new people in hopes that they could calm things down and get things on a different pace. Unclear if this was a tower issue or if this was pilot error, exactly what happened. But we do know at this hour that there were members of Congress on at least one of those planes. What do we know about them? Because much of what we were hearing was actually through them on social media, Fitz.
Yeah, and remember, Congress adjourned, so a lot of these members of Congress headed here to Reagan National Airport and got on flights all over the country. 2 of them that we have social media posts for, Representative Josh Gottenheimer from New Jersey. He represents a very northern part of the state, which actually borders New York State and Pennsylvania, wrote about an hour ago, while waiting to take off on the runway at DCA, another plane struck our wing. Thankfully, everyone is safe. And he added a postscript there, reminder, cuts to the FAA, weaken our skies. This airport certainly has been at the center of a lot of political debates about how much traffic is coming and going. Obviously, we had that big fight a couple of years ago about adding flights here to Reagan National. Ultimately, the FAA did greenlight that as part of its annual funding package. But there are a lot of good, hard looks being taken at this airport right now, not only about what's gone on the air here recently, but what's gone on the ground. You were talking about whether or not it was a control tower situation, whether it was possibly a pilot situation. What we understand right now that these 2 planes were on the ground taxiing. That's going to lead to some questions about the ground crew, whether or not these planes were being directed in the correct location, and were they where they were supposed to be, and in too close a proximity that they could even get close to clipping each other like this.
We will wait and see exactly as this investigation unfolds, but surely a lot of people looking for answers, and with congressmen on those planes, and to your point, at the center of much of the hearings that have been happening on the Hill, I'm sure that they will also be pressing for answers. Tom, I know that you have work to get to, so we'll let you get to that, and we'll see you back at 4 o'clock here.